Hey, good citizens of the Sassyverse. Technically, happy Saturday, because it's like midnight. It's very late, but it has just been such a busy time for me. There's just so much going on, and I have just not been able to make long format videos in what feels like forever. So I really just kind of wanted to rally tonight and get a little bit of filming done for you all and kind of check up and check in and make some things. My hair is doing stuff I wish it wouldn't do, hence the headband. I'm gonna braid my hair tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see what time I wake up after I do filming. But yeah, I have gone back into the traditional workforce, so you know, have like a normal 9 to 5 now. And if somebody could have told me like how tired I would be, you know, this first few weeks when I got home, in my little mind I was like, I'm gonna work and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do chores. I'm gonna cook like a 4-course meal, tuck my beautiful babies into bed, read them stories. My kids are too old for that, but you know what I mean. No, I come home and I'm pretty much a slug. Okay, I'm like a slug caught on the sidewalk in the sun, and I just lie down and I'm just like, I like starfish in my bed because it's hot. And yeah, I'm just tired. So it's been really hard to find the time where I'm like alone. I can stay up a little bit late. I have the motivation because listen, I follow the dopamine. Okay, I know my neurospicy babies out there feel me on this. I follow the dopamine. So like if I'm not feeling it, I'm not doing it. My energy and my time and my joy are too valuable to force myself to do things that I'm just not feeling. So I feel like the stars have aligned tonight and I kind of just want to work on some things. So I'm actually gonna film 2 videos back to back. I thought about like changing and pretending like it was a different day, but why? No, really, why? The 2 videos that I have to film are my August tarot messages. Listen, I already know. Okay, I didn't do anything for July. Did I have a journal? Yes. If you go to my Instagram page, I think I did like a flip through or something like that, just real fast. But I was just not vibing with the idea of setting it up on camera because I feel like it takes like 3 times as long to get it done, and I just really needed something quick. So that's kind of why I decided not to go with the YouTube video. And then my July messages, kind of the same thing happened where I was just like, let me just do this real quick. And then my new moon messages, like all the things that I would normally go ahead and take the time to make a video for, I just did not have the time to do it in July. But it's August now. So why don't we get into the setup for my August bullet journal? And I will tell you about some of the things that I've had going on and some updates and some ideas and some plans, and like, why don't we just catch up like that? Let's do our journal together and let's catch up. Also, listen, I'm not one of those girls that's ever, okay? I'm not gonna be a punctual girly, okay? I just run on my own time. I often claim it to be POC standard time, but sometimes I'm even later than the POC. So I know most people have already posted their August bullet journal, but y'all about to get this journal whenever it gets up from me. So thank you to those who are always patient and just vibing with me in this little corner. Get your snacks, get your drinky drinks, and let's catch up a little bit. Okay, as always, you can hear my super loud AC. I'm really sorry about that if it bothers people. There's not really anything I can do about it, so there's that. This month I kind of went with this butterfly and bows theme. I did this entire like sketching and everything while I was in training for my new job, and yeah, needless to say though, as I finished all the sketching, I saw what other people were doing and I was like, oh man, I totally should have or could have done something, you know, sunflowery. That was kind of the big thing where I'm like, ugh, I should have done something more sunflowery. You see a little bit of ghosting from my weekly here. The Tumblr marker went through, but that's okay. So I think my compromise with myself is going to be but I'm going to still incorporate like some sort of like sunflowery sort of like yellow in the butterflies maybe. And then I think the bows are going to be like this like really light pink sort of like neutral color. And then some of the butterflies I think are also going to be this like really dark purple. I normally don't do my cover page like in my bullet journal because a lot of times I use markers, and as you can see it goes through. So this is gonna be what I hope will be a good experience, but it could also end up being quite unfortunate. I actually think I'm gonna save this to the last because I'm, for some reason, super nervous about coloring it in. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you just, you know, do it last. So for now, I'm gonna work with these cute little frames. So July was super busy, as mentioned before. And it wasn't busy in like a bad way. It was just, I started my new job in July. Also, I did not bring my fine liners home. I left them at my desk at work, and I had to use my gel pen to outline some of this, and it is like kind of coming off on the markers, which is really unfortunate, but you know, honestly, it'll be fine. I don't even look at these like first few pages very much, if I'm being honest with you, so it's okay if they're not perfect. But I had my first like artist show, art craft show, and it was, I don't want to say that it was bad, but it like definitely was not what I expected. I learned a lot from it. Let me just say that. First of all, transitioning into my new job was really hard. I ended up really like in a pretty intense flare by the end of the week, and that was really rough. So then like the art show that I participated in was that Friday and Saturday, and so I'm gonna add like a little bit of shadow to hopefully cover up some of that like darkness, because even though I don't look at these pages and it's not that serious, it kind of like, I don't like it. I do not like it, so I'm gonna fix it, okay? And then every month on here, I always do tarot messages, tasks, and like major goals. I think I'm gonna write that in like a lighter purple. I just don't want this to be too Halloween-y. That's the thing that I'm really nervous about, and that's why I'm like, let me hold off on the butterfly. I want to kind of like get through more of this and kind of just see what the vibe is looking like, and then I can come back and kind of decide what would be the cutest ideas and situations in coloring in the butterfly. I am sorry about the shadows and weird lighting that may or may not occur. Like I said, it's midnight, so it's just me and my handy dandy ring light. Normally I also have the light from the window that's in front of me, and I don't today. But yeah, like I think I learned a lot about I don't know how to put it. I think in my mind I was really hoping for it to be a lot more like artist-centered, and I was hoping that the audience that was attracted into the craft art show, whatever, would be more like art-centered as well. You know what I mean? Like I was hoping that they would also like, I don't know, just like be a specific type of person. That's the best I can put it. And so I don't want to say that I was disappointed, but I was definitely surprised when that wasn't the case, you know? And so I just sat over here thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like these are definitely, I think I'm gonna go with this like very light, like, I don't know, beige tan sort of color. And I'm gonna, instead of the pink, I don't know, I'm feeling very neutral toned right now, and I'm veering way far from what I initially thought my like color palette was going to be. Like, I think it'll be fine though. It always turns out fine as long as I like it. Like that's really all that matters. But yeah, I guess I just was not anticipating that specific crowd. The crowd was like, on the first day, was a lot younger, and they definitely were not, you know, like in a position to like actually buy things. You know what I mean? They were there because the craft fair was putting on their like pride concerts. It was like a lot of younger queer people who really weren't there for like the art. They were really there, you know, for like the booze and, you know, wanting to go and watch the drag show. There's like a drag fashion show and a couple of performances and stuff like that. So, you know, no shade on them wanting to do that. Like, I think that's totally fine and honorable. I just, again, was not expecting that. I was kind of thinking in my mind that it would be a specific type of person, a specific type of audience that was interested in art and like wanted to like walk through the vendors and potentially actually like engage with us and stuff. And there wasn't like a whole lot of that. So there's that. So yeah, did we sell a few things? Yes. I will say that another thing that kind of like surprised me is what was being sold. From like the items that I had available, it was more tangible things. It was definitely not my art. So while everybody enjoyed my art, you know, stickers and stuff like that, not very many people were interested in actually buying them. And so, you know, that's just, to me, I think that that's just like a lesson that I learned where I'm like, oh, okay, like while I'm in here, this is the caliber of people and this is the culture. I'm gonna color these bows in. I'm still on the fence about the butterflies for whatever reason. And I thought that I knew what I wanted to do for the word August. Like, I was pretty positive that I wanted it to be in a dark purple, but I'm really not feeling connected to that color at all anymore. So I think I'm gonna change it into like a brown. Listen, if you know, you know. If you know, you know, honey. You know how I am when it comes to my like beige, neutral tones, browns, whatever. Honestly, that's home for me. So I think after a really like long and somewhat stressful week that I've had, I think that's why I'm like leaning so heavily into those colors. But yeah, I definitely, you know, learned a lot. I learned a lot about like boundaries. I learned a lot about like having a kind of like a good idea of like the genre, the culture, who the people are that are going to the craft fair, and like what do they expect, what are they interested in, like, you know what I mean, like what's the culture and the vibe. That was really not something that I had considered when I signed up for it. You know, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be so cool, I think it'll be fine. And it was fine, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not, you know, shitting on the experience. It's really just kind of like, I think I should have done a little bit more recon, and had I known a little bit more information, I probably would have gone about it very differently. Like, I probably would have had more like small trinkets and stuff like that, which I thought about, but by the time I thought about it, it was just too late. So anyways, yeah, so that's kind of just my experience. And like I said, I don't think it was a bad one. There's just a lot of things that I would do super differently now that I know what I know. So that was in July, and that like took like a lot of my focus. I think like trying to make sure that I had inventory and everything set up for that took so much more of my focus than I think I realized it was going into it. Like, I was like, oh, how hard could this be? It was kind of like a spontaneous thing to decide to do. And so I was like, damn, how hard could this be? Y'all, if you haven't done like your research and you've never done a craft fair before, it can definitely be an eye-opening experience. I definitely want to do it again now that I know what I know, and now that I feel a little bit more educated and also like a little bit more confident. And the way that I go about most things, because most things are really not personal, right? Like, if you don't make a lot of sales, at least in my opinion, I don't think that it's typically very personal. I think like you just have to know the culture and the energy of the place, which I personally did not know going into that particular art fair, and now I do. So that's part of it. Why do I feel like purple would make me happy? Why do I feel like somebody should stop me before I do something I will regret on this spread? But I feel like it does need purple. This is not that bad. I think if I go over it twice, it's a little bit darker, and that works. I do kind of regret letting the ink sit there, because that looks like, you know, that's an amateur rookie mistake, but it's fine. So as I said, I am going to do another one. My next artist alley craft show thing that I'm going to, oh, here comes the tea. You know, I feel like it's pretty much in the right spot, so we're good. I'm happy about this. Is going to be at the end of September. So I am like, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, early fall, you know, setting the vibes, getting ready to do the damn thing. And so again, less art, more like, oh my God, that's crooked. Oh no. I feel like August is late summer. It's not early fall. I feel like I would want to use these for fall. So I think I'm going to take a chance, and I think I'm going to go with the more colorful. Okay, I filmed everything on my phone and it started dying, so I had to like take a little break. I feel like I just need to do that. Like, I feel like that needs to happen. I feel so much better now. I think it looks cuter. So I went ahead and put all these little number stickers on. Oh, that's super boring anyway. I'm gonna try this lighter yellow on the bottom here and see if I like that, or if the yellow just, you know, just needs to go on somewhere. Actually, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just didn't like the other one because it was too orange. There's just something about orange and purple to me that like never need to happen together. I think Halloween is overrated. I think it's one of the most boring holidays that you can give. I would rather celebrate 4th of July, and I'm really not that all-American girl. I would rather celebrate 4th of July than Halloween, which is very sad. It's saying something. I think it's just because like all the spooky babes, they're so like over the top. I'm like, we get it, we get it. You like scary movies. Oh my God, like seriously, be more original. It's Halloween, got it. You have a skeleton and a whole bunch of pumpkins. Love that for you. Do something else already. Literally anything else. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I'm also boring, and I have like things about me that other people probably also find really basic. So no, I don't feel bad about my opinions. Okay, if you're a Halloween person, love that for you, but I think it's boring. Okay. I think these butterflies are coming out okay. They're just not really 100% the way that I wanted them to be. So I'm gonna just keep messing around with like the colors and like how I color it in. I think these are the only butterflies that I have that are done with my gel pen. So hopefully, nope, that's my air conditioning kicking on. Good grief, it's so loud. So hopefully after these butterflies, because I will have used my fine liners on the other ones, it won't bleed, and I'll be able to kind of play around with colors in a different way. All right, I am liking this setup less and less as we go, but it is what it is. I did the yellow. I also definitely regret not doing the lines in black or green or brown because the purple and the yellow is a whole lot. But it does remind me of pansies, which are kind of cute, so I'm trying to just focus on that. Also, I grabbed the wrong marker. So this marker is just like from the traditional Crayola, like Super Take packs. Is darker than this one. This is from the Crayola pastels. I don't know what to do now. Like, I'm like totally like thrown off by this. I really don't like it though. I feel like it looks bananas, but basically what I do is for each of these areas that I create content, I just want to track how much content I'm creating and like when I'm putting it out. Ugh, I don't know how to make it better. Honestly, I think this just might be the month for me, y'all, where it's just boring. This is kind of what I was talking about on the other page with the butterflies, where I was like, ooh, something swirly should kind of like go behind it. But like now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, is that the vibes though? Is that the vibes? Because I'm not super convinced. But I'm going to first color. Ooh, I hate this pink. Ugh, I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I just don't think I like anything today. I think it's just been a very long week for me. Have you ever had that situation where everything is just not to your liking? And it doesn't have to do with anything that's actually happening around you. It really just has everything to do with the fact that you're just going through it. And so it's just hard to see. Definitely one of those, if you know things, because I think a lot of times people are like, oh, it's in your head. You know, if you're positive, that'll make all the difference. Listen, I be positive, y'all. I'm not out here like cranky, grumpy pants, upset, hating everything. I do be positive. But let me tell you, there's just something about spending 10 weeks hanging on by, sorry, 10 days, not 10 weeks, 10 days hanging on by a thin thread where you're just so tired every day. And, you know, you're having to put a fake smile on at work, and you're having to, like, you know, literally pull on the empty reserves so that you can, you know, give your children quality time and attention that they deserve. It's like, by the end of it all, the positivity, it's like, where do you get it from, you know? You're just talking shit at that point. Like, you are not being real. So I definitely am not the kind of person that just sits around grumpy and resentful. It's not like that, but there definitely gets to a point where I'm just like, dang, this is so hard, and I just need, just give me something, just a little break, just a little. But, you know, we got through it. We're fine. We're okay. We're vibing. I feel much better. And I definitely, you know, am grateful for the supports that I have in place, and I'm grateful that, you know, I get to still be creative. I think like being creative is forevermore going to be like the thing that always holds me up when I'm feeling really down. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys want, like, what are some of the things that like keep you going? Like, what brings you back to life, you know? Obviously for me, it's creativity, as I just said, but that's a really big one. My kids, I think my kids are really cool. You know, I think they're funny, and they're a lot of fun to be around. And sometimes it's really hard when I don't feel good, but I do find a lot of like joy and motivation and like wanting to be well enough to hang out with my kids. So that's another one for me. And nature, like being able to go out in nature. Oh my gosh, this is the first year that like my garden is just not popping like it posts to. I feel so like embarrassed because I'm usually really good, but it's just not doing well this year. I think it's a combination of the heat and also the fact that I've just been really sick a lot. And I haven't been able to like just be on top of things the way that I normally am. But I say all of that. Over the weekend, I think it was, I found the most perfect dahlia in my little patch. And I was just like, yes, baby, I grew that. And on top of it, I can't remember what kind of plant it is in my house. It's a house plant. And I'm like, oh my God, not only have I kept this house plant alive, because listen, I be killing the house plants. Okay, I can grow anything outside, but I can't grow nothing in the house. Not only did I keep her alive, not only is she thriving, okay, but let me tell you this, because I'm really happy and proud of myself. She is also like growing new leaves, and I'm just like, gasp. Literally, I'm just like, who are you? You know, it is I did that. And I'm very proud of myself. So it's little things like that. Like, oh, and I found a zucchini today in my front yard. So I thought my plant had died from the heat, and my back fence is broken. So it's like, really, you can open it, but you can't close it. So I don't have a spigot in the front yard. I have to pull my hose from the backyard. But since the gate is broken, and I just have not had energy to like deal with it, I haven't been able to like water things the way that I would normally water them. Like, I haven't been able to stay on top of it. And you know, I don't know. I feel like nature sometimes to me is always like a sign of like perseverance. Like, nature's gonna find a way to do what it do, you know? And sometimes I think we as humans feel like we have to control and orchestrate and police and, you know, cultivate and all these things. Like, we think that we really, like, nothing will survive without our intervention. And I love that nature teaches me, you know, it's like, I know that in the back of my head that's not true, but it teaches me like tangibly that is not real. That like nature's gonna find a way, it's gonna make a way, it's going to, you know, persevere. It does not require our intervention to be great. And I think like that's, at least to me, that's a really important lesson. And it's definitely one of my favorite things to learn, you know, from growing anything in my garden, but you know, food is typically what I go for. And I will say this also, like if you ever find yourself making a bullet journal and you're just like, dang, this just didn't hit the way that I thought it would, or I'm not really into this the way that I was hoping I would be, I will say this, y'all, like the cool thing about bullet journaling, if you don't like it, just do it again. I have scrapped so many bullet journal themes and spreads and just done them again because I couldn't stand to look at it. I'm not going to do that this time because I don't have the time for all that these days, but I'm just letting people know that that's an option and there's no shame in that. But something that I do like to do is as the month goes by and I kind of get a clearer vision of like just different little things that I would like to add or see, I will go back in and I will add like washi or stickers or tape or more doodles, you know, little paintings, little sketches. I will add to it. That's kind of like one of my favorite things about bullet journaling is like what you see is really not what you get, or what you see is not all you get. You can turn this into whatever work of art you feel like it needs to be. And so I just remind myself of that. So like when I'm like really just not into what I'm creating, kind of like right now, like I'm not into it, I just remind myself that like, okay, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with not enjoying something that you've created, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story. Like you can just keep working on things and adding to it and making it more your own. You can cover up, like I can get a piece of paper and cover this up and just completely do something different. I've done that before too. So yeah, I don't know. For anybody who feels like they have to like know what the hell they're doing and actually like have a plan, you don't. You just have to have like the will to like make mistakes, and you have to have like a will to like have fun. I think like that's the point. Like the moment it's not fun anymore, you just want to switch your direction entirely, because I think that bullet journaling should really be fun. At least it always has been for me, as I've like learned how to do it in a way that works for me. It's always been fun. So I want to keep that momentum alive and encourage people to keep that at the forefront of their like exploration with any kind of creative endeavor. Because I hear a lot of people be like, oh, I'm so bad at art, but I like watching other people be good at it. It's like, nobody's bad at art. Truly, nobody's bad at art. First of all, art is super subjective. Somebody's going to enjoy it. And I think that like that's kind of, I don't know, to me, that's just one of the most beautiful things about humanity in general, right? Like, we don't all have to like the same things. We don't all have to do the same things. We don't all have to show up the same way. Not every person is going to be for everybody. Like, I'm not everybody's type. I'm an acquired taste. And like, you know, either, you know, get with it or kick rocks. Like, and that's fine. Like, I don't want everybody to be for me. I really want those people whose acquired taste is moi, where they are excited to be in my presence, to spend time with me, to get to know who I am, you know? And I think that's everything. That's also my art, you know? Like, my art may not be for everybody. My YouTube channel is not for everybody, period, you know? And that's okay. Like, they're gonna be those people that are just like, this is ugly, or you're boring, or whatever. That's fine. I'm just not for you. And I'm okay with that. More space for the people that I am for, you know what I mean? More space for the people who do appreciate it. So, you know, find your own vibe and just kind of like sit up in that pocket and really enjoy yourself. Okay, these are just frames. But like I didn't really have any, I wasn't going anywhere specific with them. So let's be honest about that real quick one time. I think inside of these frames though, if I'm being honest, I might color them yellow because I think that'd be kind of cute, and just leave the butterflies purple. But I think inside of the frames, I don't know. I have nothing. None of this makes any sense. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. All right, so this is a spread that I did not do in my July setup, and I wish that I had. But I'm going to do it in my August one, and that is just a spiritual, like, messages spread. So at the beginning of every month lately, I've been doing really good, and I have been pulling spiritual guidance message from my tarot cards, and I've been feeling really good about that. All right, here we go, y'all. We about to try this butterfly situation. I'm gonna try and make it neutral. I think is the vibes. And then I'm gonna make the bows over here purple. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see if I like it. I don't know. Please don't come for me if I end up not liking it. There's just a lot going on. Okay, we're allowed to not like things. So please don't be mad if you're like, you just don't like anything. Yeah, sometimes nothing I do is exciting to me. Sometimes nothing I do works, and that's okay. You know, I did get to the point where I separated my my spiritual practice from my content. Like as far as like doing readings for other people, like I don't do that anymore. It also is just very time consuming, and it's very like energetically consuming for me. So it works out better if I just share what happened, like what my readings are for myself, where I'm just like, oh, here's the guidance that I got. I'm just sharing it with y'all. Maybe it'll come in handy for somebody, maybe not. But like in the event that it could potentially help someone, this is what my cards are telling me. So yeah, I just figured, you know, here's some free guidance, and, you know, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and, you know, let me know in the comments if it worked or helped or if it hit in any kind of way. So that's kind of just been the way that I go about it now, where I'm pulling cards for myself and just sharing that. And I think that that's a way for me to stay consistent, but also to keep it very personal and intentional, which is super, 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 super important to me. Like the intentionality piece is very important to me, and I feel like I lost a lot of that trying to turn it into content for others. So I don't mind to share my messages, because I understand that that's still creating content. I don't mind to share my messages, but I don't want to create content specifically for other people and hope that they will like engage with it, because then when they don't, I feel like it's not valuable, and to me even, you know. Over here's my media roundup. I really enjoyed having this page. I did it, let's see, in June the first time, but in June I didn't really I didn't consume as much media. I love media, mass media. I love talking about the effects of mass media. I'm sure most of you, know that. If you've followed me on Instagram on my like more political page, I'm sure that you all know that I love talking about the effects of mass media. I think that there is no such thing as either or. Like it's not either life imitates art, or art imitates life. I think they are connected and they flow back and forth. And so it's always interesting to pay attention to like what those inspirations are leading, like what direction art is leading us, and also pay attention to the art of the time, because that's also telling us like where we're at and like how people are responding to it. I always like to think of art as like the best way to hear and to see like what's not being said, or what we're typically dissuaded from paying attention to. So I love watching like independent films, but I also really love watching a lot of like mainstream films, and like hearing what people are saying about them, and then trying to like honestly give it a little critique. Nothing too intense or boring or whatever, but like just a little like, here, let's critically think about this and take some time to actually discuss it. Like, is this actually, is this film doing what you think it is? Is this film actually subversive, or is this film contributing to, what is already a really harmful element in our society? And this is just underscoring it. And, we are being force fed that it's cool when it's really not. I felt that way about the Barbie movie. Yeah, sure, it was fun, I guess, until it really just leaned heavily into normalizing really detrimental patriarchal views. And there was just ableism, there was, homophobia, there was sexual assault, and all of these things. There was also this sort of like white tears. There was catering to like male tears, whatever you want to call that. It's just a lot of really weird, not so great like conversations happening in there, and everybody was just like, yeah, that's the point. And it's like, okay, well, like, is the point to tell us that these things exist? We don't need a Barbie movie for that. We could just learn to believe victims and kind of just leave it at that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of just the way that I feel about those things, is like, okay, well, you know, what about that is doing what you think it is? And a lot of times it's not doing what people think it is. I realize that I color out of the lines a lot. I don't, at least in my bullet journal, I kind of find that that adds like something interesting that I personally enjoy. But I know that that's not for everybody. So I just figured I should say, listen, I know that I'm doing it and I will continue. I had a lot of fun getting back into reading. I read some really good books in July. I'm going to do a media roundup. I'm going to start a media journal. Everybody has a book journal, and I love watching book journal content. It makes me really happy. Do I ever intend on reading a lot of the stuff that people are into? Hell no. I am definitely not really into fiction that much. I find myself finishing more nonfiction books than fiction, which is okay. So no, I don't really actually enjoy bookish content because I want to read everything that people are reading. I just like books, and I like information, and I get excited to see that other people find the value in that form of media, and I like hearing how books transform other people, regardless of whether I personally would want to read the book. So I really am super excited to just get to a point where, you know, I like am consistent with that. But like, mine is going to be a media journal, so it's going to have TV shows, it's going to have movies, it's going to have podcasts, it'll have books, of course, as well. It's also going to have trying to think of what else. Music. There's been a lot of great music lately, but I will say this. I have like a little bit of a bone to pick, okay, with like white queer people. Come for me if you want. I don't care. Okay. I think that they need to like relax on trying to claim that these like white queer artists are driving, you know, queer pop music. Get real, okay? Hi, Madonna. Hi, Janet Jackson. Hi, George Michael. Hi, Boy George. Like, all of these people existed and they made incredibly gay, incredibly wonderful music. Elton John. Like, stop. Come on now. Like, can we just not? Can we please just not? I understand that most of the people who are coming up with Chappelle Roan is so unapologetic. She's just vibrant. She's exuberant. She's changing the way we think about queer identity politics. Like, I get it. I understand that if you feel that way because for whatever reason your mama didn't raise you right and you somehow missed out on all of the transformative gay music that brought us to where we are today. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You know, my parents had me listening to pretty much everything growing up, every genre, every style. So I grew up with some very eclectic music tastes. So I'm not going to blame anybody who did not have that upbringing. However, you know, the internet is free, and I think that people should just please stop giving credit where literally no credit is due. Literally none. Does that mean that Chappelle Roan doesn't make good music? No, she makes great music. I like a lot of her songs, but she's not I have a problem with glorifying white mediocrity as being life-changing when it's really not. So yeah, that's my soapbox. That's my soapbox. Somebody's gonna be like, you don't like Chappelle Roan, you're a monster. Maybe I am, and I deeply apologize. You know, I truly do. I deeply apologize for anybody who is offended with that assessment of things, but it's the truth. Like, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being inspired. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being popular. Those are wonderful, but like I think this idea of saying that newer white queer artists are defining the genre, creating something for the first time, that's a little excessive to me, you know? I love the stuff that they're doing right now. I love Billie Eilish a lot. Like her last album was everything. It was so good. So it's not, you know, definitely not a hater. I think I'm just a little bit more of a realist, and I also like accuracy a whole lot. So, but I also have a lot of respect for my elder queers, you know, like I think that that's another thing that sort of like bothers me, because like our queer elders really went through some shit, y'all. Like they went through like a lot. And I just think like it just makes me sad that homage isn't being paid the way that it should, because we're so desperate to keep everything young and crisp and fresh in this country. Like everything is plastic, so badly so that we're willing to completely overlook, with the exception of during Pride, as we yell, "Pride is a protest, Stonewall, da 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 da." You know, we're so willing to overlook the sacrifices and the lives that it cost us to get here. And by overlook, I mean literally disregard. I think it is a disrespectful disregard to act as though, again, this sort of youthful white queer mediocrity is something new and that it's paving the way, as though our queer elders didn't do any work to make this possible today. Because they did, and so many of them paid with their lives. So that's my soapbox, and I'm old, and I don't care. So it is what it is. Hate me if you want, whatever. But you know, if you appreciate the message and you rock with it, be sure to share this video. I'm so bad at like promoting myself, but truly be sure to share this video with somebody who, you know, might want to hear that little tidbit of things, you know? Yeah, so it is now 2:48 in the morning, so almost 3 hours to set this up, which honestly isn't that bad. Some people spend like a week, and it used to take me a long time. Listen, I'm not happy about the background either, okay? It took me by surprise. It just is what it is. Maybe I'll color it in more at some point, but like I just really was not feeling it. I wasn't feeling this whole spread. I definitely in the future will not like color my spread for the month, like my cover page for the month. It's not going to be done in here. I like to do it on sticker paper or collage or something like that. So I definitely will not do that again in the future, but it's not the worst thing I've ever done. Okay, I've done a lot worse in my days. This is more on the side of the aesthetic that I'm really into. I like the colors. I like the style. I wish I'd done like more of this writing instead of like a script. So yeah, just lesson learned. This is my calendar. The more that I look at it, the more I like it. I did kind of shit on these butterflies in the beginning, but they're honestly not that bad. They're growing on me. Super, super, super basic, but it is what it is. What I've noticed for myself is like the less that's going on, the better. So I am more likely, when I'm not trying to maneuver around a whole bunch of stickers and drawings, I'm more likely to actually do a brain dump for the month and get everything super organized, and I'm more likely to keep track of the content that I do get posted. So I know it's boring, but it does really work better for me that way. This is my content ideas and my art-based ideas. These are just two big brain dump pages. There's a whole lot going on here. I added the yellow in the background, super not happy about that, and I still wish that the butterflies were swapped, meaning the butterflies were the sort of like neutral beige tone, and then the bows were the purple and the pink. I just wish the pink didn't exist. I actually wish that the pink little ribbons, whatever, were the yellow part. Yeah, anyways, there's so many things. If ever I try this again, and I have been known to completely do the same theme more than once just to do it better a second time around, I'm taking note of all the things that I don't like. But I don't hate it, you know? Like I said, I've definitely done worse. This is not one that I feel is so ugly I'm gonna redo it. I feel like I can work with this, but I do see where I went wrong and what I dislike, and if I ever do it again in the future, I definitely will come back better, stronger, and a little bit more organized. And speaking of organization, I will not do this. If I want to put a picture in the middle of it, I'm not going to put it right in the seam of my journal, because that obviously does not work. But my memories, which I hope to have pictures this month, gratitude, I literally just put the date and like what happened that has my heart exploding with gratitude. So these pages are kind of blank, but I at least know for sure my gratitude page is going to get filled up with moments throughout the month that I'm just really grateful for. Moments, people, experiences, things that I've seen. I saw a rainbow on the way to work the other day, and that went straight into my gratitude list. So it could be anything. I am introducing green because the whole time I was doing this, I was like, I need to put some green in here. I need to put some green in here. And you know what? I was right. I should have put green all along. Green is my favorite color. Despite how much I talk about beige and neutrals and black, green is my favorite color. I can add green to literally anything and immediately love it. Because like without the green, I just was not sure. So I wish I had added it throughout the whole spread. Lesson learned. I will definitely, again, little note for myself. My expenses, literally nothing special. This is just another one of those spreads where the more decorative I make it, the less I engage with it. So because it's about money, and I talk a lot about healing, and one of the things that I don't think enough people talk about is like financial healing, especially if you've experienced financial abuse or if you've grown up in intergenerational poverty. Financial healing is essential. And so I'm trying to work on mine and trying to be really like pour a lot of energy into budgeting, tracking my expenses, being accountable for like where money is going throughout the month, and just trying to heal some of those maladaptive behaviors, coping skills, and and transition them into things that are going to be more helpful, more healing, and allow my kids and me to like just have a little bit of a more financially secure future. So that's my August setup. It's a whole different day. I could not with that former BuJo setup. So let me just show you. I did it all again. Do I have any regrets? No, because if it's ugly, if I hate it, if I'm not into it, I'm not going to use it. And if it's blank or boring, I'm not going to use it. So I had to do it so that it's me, my style, so that I will use it. Otherwise, what's the point? So let me show you guys the redo, okay? Okay, so we're just gonna do a quick little flip through. My hands are musty, dusty, crusty. I just got home from my 9 to 5. My desk is not aesthetically pleasing. Here's a crystal, a little clip. Yeah, ooh, look, found this. Boom, aesthetics. All right, let's go. So, yes, okay, sorry, Crystal, you're gonna have to maybe be there for a minute. This is the new setup. I really wanted August to be about sunset because it's like the end of summer. I feel like summer is setting. You get it? Oh my gosh, I just realized that some of these are not completely done, but that's okay. I'm gonna finish them, but I still am gonna do a flip through. I obviously have to put like the dates and everything on here. I just really right now realize that this is not completely finished, but it is good enough to do a flip through, and you can fight me on that. But like seriously, my life is too busy and I am too tired. I mean, I'm not too tired to go do it after this, but I have time for the flip through, and I really need to get in my journal because it is August 9th and I have not done any planning for the month. I'm stressed. All right, here's my content planner. I will say with this, I set this up during a training a couple of days ago for work, and there are so many stray marks and fingerprints throughout the setup, but it's still okay. I love the cute little tulips. On the 23rd is my best friend who passed away from breast cancer. Her name is Lala. Lala means tulip. It is August. So I just thought that was a cute little commemorative little thing to add for this month. Her parents always say that her spirit reminds them of a butterfly. So the butterflies are still here, butterflies and tulips. Still got the sunset vibes. This is just giving what it's supposed to give. More with the fingerprints and the stray marks. Okay, it just is what it is. This time for memories, I figured I would try to do like this little Polaroid thing, and then throughout the month I'll cut out some cute little pictures of me and my kids. Like for example, the other day or yesterday actually was the first day of school, so that would be some cute little things to put in here. And then of course my gratitude, my spiritual messages. Sometimes I just need guidance, and sometimes the guidance that I get from my tarot is like so good, so good. And I just want to make sure that I'm recording some of those messages instead of just pulling them and like not thinking about it. I do have a tarot journal, but I go in my tarot journal way less frequently than I do in this one. I open this like several times a day. So I wanted to put some of the most important spiritual messages here. And then of course my media roundup, I'm trying to do, well, today I finished Our Prison's Obsolete by Angela Davis. So I try to do one audiobook, one regular book, and then, I love movies and TV. I try to listen to new music and or podcasts, but that's also not really a strength of mine. However, I may read like a couple of books. Like my goal is to read 2 a month, audio and physical, but I may do like 2 physical and 1 audio or something like that. And then of course my expenses. This is the first time I've done like the big lettering here, so I had to move everything down, but I actually really like it, so I'm not complaining. I don't like it when this is too decorated, like with like little drawings and doodles and stuff like that. It really distracts me from budgeting and staying like focused. So I actually kind of like the way that this is going because I can still have it streamlined, focused, but there's like just enough. And that is the end. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you like second version or do you prefer the first version? Doesn't matter. I threw that one away. It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. But let me know. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.